The green movement is not about the environment. The green movement is about dollars. We've created a $1 trillion, what I call a climate change industrial complex.
Welcome back to FreedomFest TV, part of the Ultimate Summit for Liberty. I'm your host, Heather Wagenhals, and I am thrilled to present to you our next guest, Economist Stephen Moore. Welcome to FreedomFest TV.
Heather, good to be with you here in Memphis.
I know, how exciting, right?
Going to see, going to Graceland tomorrow, so that should be a lot of fun.
I know, they have the best events organized around this. So, Freedom Fest, what keeps you coming back? I've been watching you for the last 10 years.
This is probably my 20th, something like that. And you know, normally we're in Las Vegas, but we've done it. Well, we were out at Mount Rushmore. Were you at that one?
Yes,
yeah,
I
that
was.
was a lot of fun. And this, I think, the first time to be in Memphis. But I come back mostly because there's 2,000 people here who believe in liberty, believe in freedom. It really recharges my batteries to. You know, I just was on a panel with David Bahnsen and Steve Forbes and Art Laffer and, you know, some of the icons in economics. So it's been a great conference.
Yes, and I've had a few of them on already. And so let's talk about, you know, the Global Financial Summit's been great. We have this big economic summit here. What are the big ideas that are coming out of the conversations here?
Well, I think there's a consensus that the massive inflation we had in the first 18 months of the Biden administration has finally subsided. You know, we're now at closer to 3 to 4% inflation, which is a lot better than 9% to 10% that we had a year ago. But the real worry is, how do we get the economy really recharged? How do we make sure that China doesn't take our place as the world economic superpower? How do we make sure that we remain number one? How do we allow, you know, as John F. Kennedy said, we create a rising tide that lifts all boats? And so we have to fix our tax system, we have to fix our border, we have to fix, the debt problem we have in Washington. And one thing we've been really working on has been this idea. This is kind of a cool thing that's going on in America right now, is the school choice phenomenon. So 15 states this year have passed bills that allow students in low-income areas or in failing school districts to send their kids to schools, whether it's a Catholic school or a Jewish school or a Montessori school or a charter school or a science school, whatever it might be, that's going to provide them an excellent education. Because in America, we need to have every American child and kid in grade school and in high school get the best possible education. And frankly, the government schools are failing in that regard. And let's not forget, it was the teachers' unions that shut down our schools during COVID, which was one of the, a great calamity and tragedy.
Mm-hmm. It was truly unfortunate. And the literacy rates are alarming.
Ugh.
And
I mean, look at, we have the lowest test scores now in 50 years. We have hundreds of schools where none of the kids are even reading, writing at grade level proficiency, which is to be average.
Right.
I mean, come on, we need to have exceptional students and exceptional minds. And, what is the old thing, the Negro College Fund, a mind is a terrible thing to waste.
Right.
We're doing that when we warehouse these kids in these atrocious government schools. And, competition, by the way, one of the reasons you and I believe in the free enterprise system and the free market is it creates a competition, and competition leads to better services and lower prices. Why don't we use that in education?
It makes sense to me.
I mean, why don't we let the public schools compete? I guarantee you, it'll improve. So in other words, we're still going to have most Americans are still going to go to the public schools, but if they have to compete for the kids, they're going to do a much, much better job.
Right. I mean, and as an educator, wouldn't it make sense that you would want to go into your classroom every day with that attitude?
You would think so, but you would be wrong.
How can I make my kids the smartest ones on campus?
I mean, now look, there are a lot of incredibly great teachers out there, no question about it. The problem isn't the teachers, it's the teachers' union. Yes. And the unions are so militant and so powerful. They're the biggest giver to the Democrats. So you had a situation in Pennsylvania where the governor, Josh Shapiro, campaigned for office supporting school choice. He supported and promoted the bill. It was his own bill. And then the teachers union said, no, you can't do that. He vetoed his own bill because he put the interests of the teachers unions ahead of the kids. That can't happen. We have to put kids first.
Right, and the teachers union are advocating for the teachers, not
Yeah.
the students anyway.
Yeah, there's no famous saying by one of the teacher union presidents, we'll worry about the kids when they start paying union dues. Well, come on, what kind of attitude is that? The schools are for the kids. They're not for the employees.
Right. So, what other ideas have you
Oh,
found interesting?
we've talked a lot at this conference about the flat tax idea. Art Laffer and Steve Forbes have long been advocates of the flat tax. Let's just get rid of all the deductions, loopholes, the 80,000 pages of regulation. We wouldn't have to hire 87,000 new IRS agents if we had a simple tax system.
Right. Yeah. One page.
Yeah.
I made
Yeah.
X.
Yeah.
I pay.
Yeah,
X
I get deductions for
percentage of that.
myself, my kids, maybe one or two other things, and then you just pay it. And then April 15th would just be a normal, spring day. So I like that idea a lot. We talked a lot about promoting American energy. As you know, I work for Donald Trump, and we were really proud by the fact that by the time Trump left office, we were totally not just energy independent, we were the leading producer of oil and gas in the world. Because because of the shale revolution and all the oil and gas we had access to. And Biden's basically turning the spigots off, and that's only benefiting Saudi Arabia and Venezuela and OPEC and Russia. I mean, why would we do
And
that?
on all the governments that are antithetical to our gods.
Exactly. That doesn't make any sense. So I'm optimistic that with the right leadership, we could see glory days again.
Mm-hmm.
But, Biden's running around saying, oh, look how great Bidenomics is. Do you think Bidenomics has worked? We're running a $2 trillion deficit. We can't control our border. We've got, inflation at 9% last year. We've got, enormous problems with, crime in this country. No, I'm sorry. Our country can do a lot better than this.
Well, yeah. I'm just thinking about this. And this is like one issue that is really concerning me, is this whole rush to electric cars, because the problem I see that none of the green people have talked about is the environmental impact of the disposal of all of those batteries.
And where do you think that the minerals are produced? We could be producing them in the United States, but the environmentalists won't let us produce it. So we have to turn to countries like the African countries, China, other countries to get the minerals. What are you going to do with the disposal? What are you going to do with all those batteries? We're going to have massive cemeteries of batteries all over the country.
But that's going to destroy
Of
groundwater.
course it
It's going to
will.
ruin our soils.
So it's not even green.
I know. That's not like,
and the other
how
problem
is
is
this
only,
green?
studies show only at most 1 out of 3 Americans even ever want an electric car. So here, our stupid American car companies like Ford and GM, they're saying, oh, we're going to transition 100% over to electric vehicles. You mean you're going to make cars that people don't want? How stupid is that?
Well, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Your customers are going to go somewhere else.
Of course. Toyota is the one big car company that says, no, we're going to keep producing, cars with the combustible engine.
Right.
And there's a lot of reasons why people, prefer that. And that's the other thing, in America, Americans have a love affair with their cars. I do.
I know, I do too. I have
and,
a few.
I've got friends that have 19 cars from the 60s, the amazing, and people love their cars. The government is not going to tell people what car they can buy, even though they're going to try to do that. And they're going to try to force the car companies. So if you've got a gas car, you better hold on to it, because they're going to probably try to make them illegal.
Right. Well,
amazing.
I'm going to be a criminal then.
Me too.
That's the kind of crime I want to commit. Car ownership.
Yeah, but think about what we could do if we just, went all in on American energy. And that should include oil, which we have 300 years worth of oil. We have about 400 years worth of natural gas. We have 600 years worth of coal. No country in the world has as much coal as we do.
Right.
We could be using nuclear power. Hydropower is a good way to produce, energy, but the left doesn't like hydropower because they don't like dams. So the only forms of energy they're in favor of are the ones that don't work.
Right. And we have a bunch of them in Arizona, where I'm from.
The dams.
Yeah.
And hydropower is a great, and that is a true renewable energy. Hydrogen, then you've got also nuclear doesn't emit any greenhouse gas emissions. So why are they against that?
Yeah, that one makes no sense either.
No, it's because this is an important thing for your viewers to understand. The green movement is not about the environment. The green movement is about dollars. We've created a $1 trillion, what I call a climate change industrial complex. So it's just all this money pouring. This
good.
is not about cleaning up the environment. It is about channeling dollars to these companies and these environmental groups. $1 trillion. Think about how much money that is.
Yes.
And it's yours and my money. It's going right straight out to these people.
And I have much better things to spend it on.
Me too.
Well, it's been such a treat having a conversation with you today.
Well, you're going to be at the next Freedom Fest?
Yes.
Next year, same time next year? Well, I think
Same
we'll be
bat
back in
time,
Vegas.
same bat channel.
Yeah, you got it.
And I'm a lifer for sure.
too.
It's it's my favorite holiday
Mark
of the year.
Skousen has done a wonderful job with this. He really created it, almost single-handedly, and there's a bunch of us who've really been there with him, from the start. And first it was a few hundred people, then maybe 800, then 1,000. I think we got 2,500 people here. Next year we'll probably have 4,000 people in Vegas.
Oh, I know. We just keep growing
It's like the
it.
World Economic Forum, except we're for free enterprise here.
Right?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, it's been great. If folks want to find more about the work that you do, is there a website they can
please.
access?
I want people to go to the Committee to Unleash Prosperity website. And two things, you can see our latest ads on school choice, but also sign up for are you getting our hotline?
Yes.
Okay. So we want all your viewers to get it because it's free. It's just, you can read this in 5 minutes every morning, just dot. Quick read, but it's a good way to understand what's going on with the economy and politics. And, we also add a little humor in there too.
I love it. And that website again?
Committee to unleashprosperity.com.
Perfect. Committee to unleashprosperity.com. Okay, great. Well, Stephen, it's so great to have you. Stephen Moore, I'm Heather Wagenhals, and we'll be back with more Freedom Fest TV right after this.